to my channel, Coin Lady, and thank you for returning. Many are speculating that Ripple's recent $1.4 billion stock buyback is a precursor to a very bullish impending initial public offering, IPO, something the firm is aware of that will cause its value to skyrocket. I disagree with that assessment. In my opinion, it's not a negative thing. However, I do not believe it is the driving force behind their actions. So, before we get into today's jam-packed schedule, we'll cover that. There was a huge computer crash that affected nearly every business, including the banking system, hospitals, and airplanes. This is a major one, you know. According to reports, it was prompted by an update to CrowdStrike. Although I usually stay away from stories involving the government or technology, this one does highlight how dependent we are on these networks for our day-to-day functioning and how vulnerable our systems actually are. Hugo Filerun, the Great, has left us a quote. According to Flare, it's been 15 years since Bitcoin was first released. Given the present state of blockchain technology, would a product have been available to prevent today's worldwide outage? I saw that many people are pointing out that XRP is still operational. While the ledger is operational, RippleNet was likely impacted as well. These blockchains are not yet large enough to manage the volume of worldwide payments, let alone all the other computer systems that must process the transaction. Therefore, this solution was not feasible. However, it does highlight the necessity for decentralized technologies that are not overly dependent on a single architecture. Additional redundancy is required. On the bright side, the networks supporting cryptocurrency are still active. It was as anticipated. For what reason are politicians you're familiar with suddenly warming up to cryptocurrency? As you can see in the next story, President Trump requested $844,000. Photo ops at the Bitcoin conference can cost an extra $60,000 to $100,000. Just plenty of cash floating about. On top of that, it's simply crucial. Feel free to rock out at Fidelity's Black Rock show. Their desire to be admitted is strong. It is necessary for them to have this, and you already have all the people who will back your campaign. Like anything else, it's driven by financial considerations. Lots of people are claiming that this individual isn't truly interested in cryptocurrency, but that's obviously not the case. That is the rule of the game. Money and power are at the heart of the matter, regardless of whether it's defense expenditure or their intrinsic distaste for the American healthcare system or any of the other related businesses. Therefore, the money and power that accompany cryptocurrency make it irrelevant whether a politician has always been pro-crypto. Innovation will always find a way. Messari CEO Messari, the two-bit moron Ryan Salukas, has resigned as CEO. I used to be blocked on Twitter by someone who was my deadliest enemy. However, I've since changed my mind, am fine with Ryan, and like Messari. Even though I occasionally use it, I believe it's priced too high. He, however, allowed his emotions to control him, as is customary. He made some politically heated statements on Facebook posts, whatever you call them, and, naturally, he didn't become CEO. His time has come to step down. Okay, so I want to bring up this Ripple buyback. Plus, I stand by what I said today when I wrote this. I don't think it's optimistic or suggestive of huge event preparations that Ripple decided to spend $1.4 billion in cash to buy back stock. At least, that's the argument that has been put up. From their kindergarten financial book, they retrieve it. Well, they're attempting to prepare for an initial public offering, IPO, by buying back shares, so the earnings per share will appear higher, right? Look, they shelled over $1.4 billion, and all they're going to get out of it is a piece of the corporation. In what ways might its value increase? When they go public, how much money do you think they'll make? Do they even bother to do that? Since it is obvious that Ripple does not require further capital, I believe they will follow Coinbase's lead. In anticipation of an initial public offering, IPO, and subsequent capital raising, the company recently spent $1.4 billion repurchasing its own shares. Hear me out. You can do the math on your own. If this $10 to $12 billion firm were to go public, what percentage of the company would they sell? They recently spent $1.4 billion. Furthermore, what amount of extra funding would they receive as a result of this decision? Also, what if you're financially able to pull this off? Given the amount of XRP they have, is it really necessary to have additional funds? Coinbase made the statement, "Look, our equity is worth more than more money," when asked about investing. Additional funding is unnecessary. As a result, they went ahead and performed a straight listing to reward their long-term investors and workers with stock options. The public was interested in investing, and there was a liquid market to sell into. Coinbase, however, did not go public. They refrained from releasing any stock to investors. Again, they have a lot of cash on hand and a lot of XRP that is liquid, so they probably won't need to raise further funds if they decide to go that route. Would they really spend $1.4 billion to guarantee those shareholders a small boost in their direct listing if they weren't planning to go public and raise capital as a company? It just doesn't add up. What the fuck is happening? In my opinion, it's not too complicated. You observed that Tetragon sued Ripple. Whether the parties reach a settlement or the judge rules in favor of the SEC will receive $1. That case was won by them. However, once this matter is resolved with the FCC, there are substantial investors who will vigorously litigate the corporation due to their long-term involvement. Additionally, they should consider cashing out Ripples as a precautionary measure. This will help eliminate some danger and make a sensible decision. You want out? Here's your money. We got lots of cash. It's a solid business move to address a potential problem down the road. I'm simply saying it doesn't mean anything else. Now, the last thing that will happen is that, after this case closes, there will most likely be a class action lawsuit. This would be for the smaller shareholders, because the $1.4 billion won't go to the big players who could cause trouble. Once the class action lawsuit starts, it will likely linger for a while and be relatively quiet. Plus, they will likely compensate him. It won't be a major issue. However, in my view, what they are currently doing is merely removing risk from the equation. I think Ripple will go public. In fact, I predict that they will begin building a lot of excitement about it towards the end of next year in preparation for it. Their plan to expand into crypto beyond payments will require some time to develop their on-demand liquidity business, launch and start making money from their stablecoin business, custody business, which they just released today, and prove that they can generate significant revenue from sources other than selling XRP. I believe they will follow through with their plan. However, in my opinion, you should not even consider going public until you have those things in order. Because if they announced their financials when they were about to go public, saying that they made all their money from selling XRP, it would be a huge red flag. Furthermore, we are incurring losses and experiencing low revenue in terms of demand liquidity. Plus, we have a plethora of other fantastic ideas that we believe might be a smashing success. It would be a total nightmare. They have no intention of doing it. They have moved past that legal matter, which had been their exclusive focus for the preceding few years. I also believe they will succeed now that they are ready to develop and grow. It does, however, take some time. This amount of $1.4 billion. It seems to me that that's merely removing an option for risk. Excellent decision. Personally, I don't see it as a precursor to anything major happening soon. Thank you for watching my channel and for subscribing. I'll see you later.